Saturday morning cartoons with me. Thanks for hanging out. Batman animated series. This is me reacting, rewatching, giving you my thoughts, and let me know again if you are rewatching the show. Do you have favorites? Those kinds of things. We're getting close to the end of season one. They were going to make it by the end of the year. They were going to have a nice time there in December to do some recapping, best of list, maybe have a guest on, something like that. Maybe let me know. Maybe you'll be interested in joining me. Blind as a Bat, which ironically, because of how they aired and how I put them together. So Robin's Reckoning was a two-parter that were aired apart, and it was a Penguin episode, and now we're getting Penguin again. So it's just weird to have Penguin back to back after not having so much Penguin. But Blind as a Bat, yes, different take on the vulnerabilities of something that could happen to Bruce. So you have Bruce at this event, and they're doing like a military testing. This is very reminiscent of sort of like the Iron Man movie where, you know, they have the Wayne Enterprises money, the Stark Industries money being spent on weapons. And Bruce is like, I don't know how I feel about it. But clearly it's like a massive crossover to the tech that Batman already has. So it's stealth technology and different weapon technology that he is now finally sharing. But as you can see, the pilots have been tied up, and the Penguin is involved, and there's a massive attack and explosion. Again, I said it last time. I'll keep saying it. The design on Penguin is one of my least favorites of the animated series villain designs. But let me say this. Compared to other episodes, this Penguin is more menacing and interesting and dynamic than how it's been portrayed to this point. So this is actually, to me, a much better representation of the Penguin as far as personality and characteristics go. But I do love some of the other stuff they've done. I'm not, again, remember, if you're new, criticisms of this show is almost like nitpicking, because this show's weakest episodes are almost always superior to just about everything else. That's how good this series is. It dates so well. Anyway, massive attack, massive explosion that catches Bruce in the crosshairs, and he's actually reveals to, when they're in the car, he reveals to Alfred that he cannot see. He is temporarily blind. What is he going to do? If you're catching some edits in some of my videos, it's because I have a little cough, so I'm trying to spare you all. So a little bit of a snippet there. There we go. All right, so he's been injured, and he calls Leslie in to help him and consult with him. It's like a temporary blindness. It's not like a permanent. It's almost like a flash injury, the flash scar to his retinas. He's trying to move around because the bat signal's being thrown up into the skies, and he's not coming. Of course, Bullock's doing Bullock stuff, and there's a big attack because of a blackmail scheme from Penguin, and he attacks a bridge, taking out the support beams, and someone barely, so this young couple in a car barely survives it. And then you have Leslie again. Now, this is like a bone of contention that we involve Leslie. Now, I understand Leslie as a medical consultant. I'm disappointed because I would have rather seen Alfred taking Bruce to meet with Lucius, or even Earl, who was brought up as the guy who had built the Batmobile, to come up with some sort of tech that he could use to overcome his temporary blindness. And I will also say I'm disappointed because I would have liked to have seen Robin sort of like have to be involved to help compensate for Bruce's shortcoming. With all that said, this is just me spitballing against the wall of the what ifs and buts. You know, we'd all have, a Merry Christmas. Okay, so we move along. Again, this was... It's not fair to let the show slide, even though I love the show. It somehow ties to his optical nerve or something. And I'm like, okay. The writer kind of cheated a little bit on the tech because it's like it just barely plugs into his utility belt, but it's supposed to be so high tech that it can patch into his brain. And then it's also on like a battery that has to be charged. So we had to come up with another contrived way for him to lose the battery powered sight as well. That's about the extent of contrivances that this show has, though. Especially when you look at it through the scope or the lens for kids, who was obviously the primary target audience. All of this is great. So this is they use red to indicate that he's looking through the visor. He tests it out before he heads out to try to figure out how to intercede with the situation with the stealth copter that Penguin has stolen and has control of, and it's going to be basically a copter versus bat plane. And again, really good stuff. This was actually a great little action sequence. I think it was great to see Bat, like he takes an injury, he takes a blast to a wing and has to go down. You don't get to see a lot of that sometimes. Obviously, it's a little bit tied to the first Batman '89 movie, but you don't get to see a lot of that. And then, of course, you don't get to see like massive explosions. As how would he actually survive? And in this case, again, refreshing. He's actually wounded. He's still having a hard time seeing, so he's stumbling, bumbling around, and he kind of gets in a vulnerable situation against one of Penguin's thugs, and almost loses. So they do a really good job of trying to get you to the edge of your seat on how will he get out of it all, kind of thing. So I liked all that. Of course, he does get the upper hand. He kind of leg grabs him and throws him over the side, and of course, he's not dead. So. Penguin, though, is figuring out there's something wrong. So he starts to move in, and he starts to realize that he can't see. He kind of like throws something. Batman responds, and they're suddenly, because they're in like a smelting area where they melt, metal. So you have basically lava, the equivalent thereof, right? And he ends up being able to bang. So again, not a fan of the contrivances, right? But it's like, bang it hard enough and it will work. If it's a battery going dead, you can bang it all you want. I'm not sure. Okay. So yeah, this is torn because this was more of a fun episode than a high quality episode that's been really buttoned up. This one felt like there were some loose ends, like the contrivances and things that just are perfectly aligned for Batman that most episodes didn't have. Him getting over on Penguin and being able to see now and stuff like that. Again, it's very rewarding, and I do enjoy it. Of course, you take the bandages off, and of course, there's the I can see kind of thing. So, and there's our title card. So, kind of I don't want to say this is a shorter take than I normally have, but let me say this. It had some issues as far as plot and some of the things that a lot of episodes don't have. But at the same time, it's not short on fun and engagement and enjoyment. You feel like you're in the right universe. You feel everything flows really well. And like I said, it's a much better representation of Penguin in many ways than some of the other episodes are. So that's my take on it. I always love hearing from you guys, and definitely stuff that you're watching. I've been trying to dabble outside of my comfort zone a little bit with Transformers this week. More stuff coming. Keep it coming, your requests and suggestions. Thank you all for support. Take care, everybody. I am Pops.